And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Microphones are working today. We're back in the saddle again as we begin this day. We'll tell you all about the weather as we get done for this. We're starting to have a warming trend. We'll get to high right around 68 today. Not bad at all. We'll get into all the forecasts in just a moment to get you updated for that. I think we got Kirby coming in later at 7 o'clock. The veterans are trying to put together something. He's going to come by to tell us about that this morning as well. We'll tell you all the headlines that are shaping America during this first show. I'm glad you joined us. If this is your first time, welcome. So glad to have you a part of it. As always, we get the day started with a little Jesus. Let's go to Collinsville now.
Having grown up in the 70s as a child, we watched a lot of Westerns on TV. Shows like Bonanza, The Lone Ranger, The Big Valley, and many more. They were very popular. My favorite, though, and it still is, was Gunsmoke. Matt Dillon just had that presence as a lawman. Always wore the same clothes, had that beautiful horse, and you didn't dare draw your gun on him. Whenever Matt Dillon would capture those hardened criminals, the first thing he would tell them is to drop your guns. He would disarm them so they would no longer pose the threat they otherwise would. After that, he would kick their guns further out of the way and then throw a set of handcuffs at them and make them cuff themselves. If you can disarm the enemy, you are more likely to triumph over them in battle. Colossians chapter 2, verses 13 through 15 reminds us what Christ has done for us in salvation. He has made us alive when we were spiritually dead in our sins. He forgave us all our sins and canceled our debt that we could never pay by nailing that written code against us to the cross. Verse 15 says, "And having disarmed the powers and authorities, He made a public spectacle of them, triumphing over them by the cross." Through His great work on the cross, Jesus disarmed our enemies. Not only that, He made a public spectacle of them. If we are saved, we are no longer bound by the spiritual powers and authorities who would work to destroy us. We have not overcome them. Jesus disarmed and triumphed over them. I believe this verse pulls back the curtain on some of the things that went on in the spiritual world that we have never seen with human eyes. It says Jesus made a public spectacle of them, triumphing over them by the cross. In the world in which our enemies live, God made sure the message was sent. The devil and his demons knew the law was laid down and the enemy was soundly defeated. Aren't you glad Christ fought for you? Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And you're absolutely correct if you were thinking you've seen that. You had. I made a boo-boo on that. We'll get all that straightened out. Sorry about that. Maybe we needed to hear that again. My mistake on that. As we begin today, 45. Our high to be 68 as we gather our thoughts and get ready for this. Now, we do have some severe weather that's going to be to the west of Meridian, the Vicksburg area so far. We're still days away from this on Saturday night, and this could push further east and affect the area. We'll let you know as that develops and heads our way. Let's see. They did in Canada, if you've heard about this, it was a shooting that happened there at a school. As headlines often happen across other countries, we should carry this. God bless it. It's several students that were killed. Canada had a real trouble admitting this of what was going on. This was one of, again, I know we had one of these in the United States not long ago, to where a trans student is responsible for this. 12-year-old trans student. Is responsible for taking the lives of those students, of at least 5, possibly 7 students there. I just, awful. I don't know what to say about things like that. It puzzles me and bothers me. We have 32 injured in a college baseball team, Arkansas. One person died in a bus accident that happened. There are 32 of them injured there. It happened early yesterday morning. The Iowa State Patrol is looking into the accident, a single vehicle accident, and again, one person deceased at the scene. That's so horrible. As we look at things and as your kids go off on these teams, you never expect something like that to happen. Somewhere there's family that's totally upset over that. As we keep looking with this, Target is going to be cutting out 500 jobs as they focus on new policies to make customers feel more at ease in their stores. 500 are being taken away. Now, as I looked at this yesterday, and we're still talking about this, no new clues to amount to anything in the Nancy Guthrie case. But it amazed me as I watch headlines across America and how they do this, and especially with the legacy side, where they can take, what is that thing, maybe 15 seconds, and they have had it, and they'll talk for hours upon hours of looking at the same video footage over and over and over and over. They've stretched it out now. We're on, what, day 12, I think?
Something like that.
It's going on. Now, yesterday, a mile and a half away from the home, they found a pair of black gloves that could possibly match what the person at the front door was wearing. But there is no 100% that matches the person. They're not 100% convinced of that. That's the latest on that. Nothing new. Hopefully they'll single in on whoever's done this. The guy that was in Dawson's Creek, and many of you remember him. I was trying to find a decent picture of him. Dawson's Creek, this guy here. He was 48 years old when he was a young man. He was in that TV show. GoFundMe was set up for him. It has raised at this point for his family about $1 million. So sad. Cancer is what took him from us. It doesn't matter if you're high profile, you're a celebrity, or if you're just average Joe like you and I are. Cancer's bad, y'all. I do not agree with this. And I often feel that someone should say these things, so I'm going to go out on the limb and go ahead and put this out here. I remember talking about this a few months back, to where a lady was found, where was this at? It was another state. It was a Dollar Tree. And for the life of me, I can't find what state it was in. But it was a 32-year-old lady. She was an actual doctor that was found on a Monday morning in the freezer of a Dollar Tree. And you know, back there in the back where they've got everything. Well, they've done the autopsy and know what caused it. And the family is suing Dollar Tree. And this is where I have my problem with this. The lady was highly intoxicated, and in her drunken stupor climbed inside of the freezer and closed the door. She died. Now, that is not Dollar Tree's fault in any shape, form, or way, and such things as that should be thrown out, in my opinion. To me, that's frivolous. Brought it on your own self, and no, it's not their fault. She did it. Somebody needed to say that today. Things like that is just uncalled for, in my opinion. We hate it. It's horrible that it happened, but it's not the store's fault. Ford, and they have hurt America at this point. The EVs, these trucks and things, they posted their worst year ever due to the fact they had so much invested in electronic vehicles. The battery operated. They're doing a turnaround. They're starting to fire these gasoline engines back up, and we'll turn it around. It's the worst they've had. America spoke, and they didn't want that. There's no doubt about it. So what do you drive this day? Now, a lot of these are popular, and I have said many, many times, eventually these electric cars will work one day. But it's kind of like my golf cart that's still sitting in the driveway. It quit right there. Somebody got to push it somewhere. What else do we have going on this morning? As we look at this, U.S. drug cartels. I didn't even know this had started happening, but on the Texas border, the United States has seized 134 acres. It was used by a Mexican cartel. You go to Twitter here to take a look at that. That's the story there. It's about time. Now, a lot of that goes on each and every day, but we sure are glad there's starting to be some accountability towards this. It shocked them all. Have y'all seen the headlines on this? It was doom and gloom. It was all said that the job performances were going to be down. They came out and jobs rose by 130,000 for the quarter. They didn't expect that. Stock market is reacting by climbing. That's good. That's good for all of us. And as we look at this, another headline that deals with this cartel, and I'm trying to find words to put this in. There's probably not anyone watching that doesn't have a family member or close friend that hasn't been in some shape, form, or way affected by drugs. Now, as a kid, I didn't know anything about that. I knew no one up till I was probably 12 years old of anybody that had really been affected by drugs. We just didn't know them. And then slowly but surely it crept in. What am I telling you? That drugs finally took over the U.S. This is a big deal here. The U.S. and Colombia, in a joint effort not yesterday, but this week, shut down 10 tons of cocaine that was confiscated. 10 tons. Now, as people were mad that the United States went in and had been taking care of these boats that are bringing this in, it's saving Americans. So many people want to whine when they don't really understand what this is. There's death in these boats that comes to the U.S. Drugs are horrible. They're bad for our people. And it needs to be stopped. And it is a threat. It's just as harmful as invading our shores. And it is invading our shores, just in a cocaine form. It's time we stand up, and I'm glad somebody's doing something about it. Heineken, I've been hearing this all over. Usually when people are depressed, beer sales go up. They've been shrinking lately. What is changing that? Heineken is laying off 6,000 jobs. The need is just not there. They don't have people wanting it. But it's nationwide, worldwide that it is happening. Trump put this out. And folks, this is a huge, huge amount. I know we had fraud in the state of Mississippi, and there's probably more that we don't know about. Shad White's gotten some. We had the big scandal that nothing has really been anything done about, has it? We know that. But we look at Minnesota. We had, $5 million? Minnesota at this point, at 19, get this figure I'm fixing to tell you. They're estimating it at $19 billion that have been stolen in fraud. And at the same time, they go, if you think that's bad, wait till we get to California. What has been going on in the United States? Our national debt climbs daily when we have our own stealing from ourselves, giving it to other countries, people that aren't citizens. When yet we have people that are barely getting by on Social Security, that can barely pay their power bill, veterans that are homeless because they couldn't afford it, but yet we give it to people that are non-citizens, and programs that are theft from the word go. $19 billion. Imagine what that could have been done for the American citizen. Somebody has got to stand up and be the policeman. They do. And you can be mad at them for doing their job if you want. But somebody has to put a stop to it. If not, it'll just get worse and worse.
That falls on every person at the voting poll.
Well, they elect people they trust. When you find out that there's distrust is when you have to go back and fix it. If it ain't straight language, pay attention. This is a shocking headline, but when it comes to love, anything is possible. We've got a border agent that's been arrested. He was a superintendent. What did he do? He was dating some old girl that, wasn't an American citizen. He was well aware of it. Hid her in his house. It's not going to work out well for him. The Queen, I thought we should bring this up. I didn't realize this. Andrew, of course, he's shamed. He's been thrown out of his big mansion that he had over there across the pond. His mother loaned him, was it $19 million, $12 million to pay the young lady that he was accused of? He had to borrow that. He hadn't paid back a penny. And from what I'm hearing, this is only going to get worse as more files are released. There's still people sweating, y'all. And they deserve to. Here's something that has rattled a few folks. Deep in Oklahoma, that was a Republican territory, a Democrat has won a race by 30 points. What's going on there? I have 2 points here. There's a lot of people that disagree with me on this, and there's going to be a lot that agree with me on this. If you're not a citizen of the United States and you're here illegally, I think you need to go away. If you're not, it's the law. That's just the way it is. As an American citizen, you're given extra rights other than people. It's a privilege to be a part of this, and there's ways to become a citizen. Headline shaping America today, L.A. County, as we go to California. An illegal alien youth coach could face the death penalty. Why? Allegedly murdering and raping a teen player. Yet, we go here where 4 federal judges released 4 illegal immigrants convicted of murder, sex crimes from ICE custody. Now, they've already been charged with these crimes, but the judge is going to turn them out on the streets. There's all types of crimes there. Murder, sex crimes, and they're illegal, but yet they're turned free on the streets of America. Did you hear the case I said before that? And if you're an American citizen accused and proven guilty, I don't think you need to be on the streets of that either. Let me show you this guy. This guy, and we'll use the word allegedly because they haven't been proven guilty in court yet, but multiple drivers said this guy was driving beside them, pointing guns out the window in Florida. What a mugshot that he made. Let's go to the Walton County Sheriff's Office. Y'all ready for that? Be careful because it's going to scare you. This is him. Great dentist there as well. I think it's got a Columbia tie there. You don't act that way unless something's... My oh my. He was arrested this week there. A bunch of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep products are getting warnings of don't drive until you get your airbag checked on. They've got a defective airbag that was sent out to numerous cars. Won't cost you anything. Go back to your dealer and have that fixed. They'll take care of you there. They lifted. You remember yesterday morning we were talking about the airspace around El Paso was halted? That didn't last very long. It had something to do with the military that's been cleared up and commercial airplanes were let loose to fly again. Mitch McConnell has been discharged from the hospital. He had flu-like symptoms. He is finally getting out of the hospital. I bet he's been there a week or so. And we'll bring this up just for the sake of it happened. Ukraine, as we go to the winter sports, Olympics, I think is what they call it. He had placed on his helmet what he considered a tribute to fallen soldiers. Can't do that in the Olympics, and they have disqualified him from participating. Rump row. Should have thought that one out there. And NBC has apologized, and they have since deleted the footage of this, of an Olympic, I don't even know how to put it. The person, let me try to get this correct now. The person that was participating in the Olympics was trans, and they called the athlete by the wrong sex, so they deleted the footage so it wouldn't offend anyone. So, well, there you go. We'll be right back with your weather forecast and dig deep into this in just a moment. Y'all stay with us.
I don't know what they do to train their people, but they're always so friendly. Everybody on the phone is friendly. Everyone who comes out to help is professional and kind.
If we want our team to treat our customers well, it starts with us treating the team well. My grandfather and father worked hard to create a family atmosphere where we care for each other, celebrate each other, and genuinely enjoy working together to serve our customers. That overflows to the customer's experience, and that's hassle-free plumbing and AC.
Our local headlines are brought to you by the Rock House Gun and Pawn. Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Our record highs and record lows, 1999. It was a warm day, 82. Back in 2011, we had a low of 14. Boy, that was chilly. Whew. As we look at the rest of the day, we look to be 68 today. Not going to quite cross that 70-degree mark, at least at this point. We should see 65 in Columbus. We'll see 60 at the state line. Over in Vicksburg, warmer at 70, and down in Gulfport, we should see 69. Tonight, a little little bit cooler than it is now. We're sitting at 45 now. We're expecting a low to be 44. As we go northward into Philadelphia, we'll get to 42. Somewhere around 40 right there at Louisville. And at the state line, we should see 40 for tonight. As we look at Natchez, about 54. And on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, we should see somewhere around 53, stretching over to Alabama there toward Mobile. As we look at what's happening in Alabama, we'll see 67 in Demopolis, and we'll see that in Livingston as well. Tuscaloosa cooler at 65, and Birmingham at 62. Warmer as we go south toward Montgomery at 67. Now, here's what we got with that warm weather as we see it, again, slowly moving into Mississippi from Texas there. We got a little bit of northern Louisiana getting warmer. This is what we've got. 68 today, 43 tonight. We'll see 71 as it rolls in on Friday to end the week with a low of 50. Now, we've got a 20% chance. They've changed this just a little bit, as we've got a 20% chance of showers during the daytime. So it should be pretty good Saturday. Rain will move in Saturday night with a 70% chance. Now, depending upon where you look, this is ranging from 70 to 100% chance of rain. Bottom line is we're going to be getting rain there, and we'll look at the chart here in just a second. 70 on Monday as we go back to work with a low of 47, and we'll get up to 76 by Wednesday. Now look at this. This is what we've got so far, and expect this to change. We'll look at live radar in a moment, but severe weather threatens the state of Mississippi, Vicksburg, and west into Louisiana. Do expect this because we're days out from this. It will most likely move further east toward the Meridian area before then. Isolated severe thunderstorms are possible. Damaging winds of up to 60 miles an hour are possible Saturday night. And this is after the sun goes down. We'll watch all this and get a better timeline as it gets closer. As we go another weekend of February, that groundhog just ain't hitting on any cylinders. As we hit 81, y'all see this? February 19th, 81. Groundhog's wrong for February. 57 for a low that night. We'll still be right around 80 for a couple days there. 20th and 21st around 78. We'll dip down to 72 on the 22nd. And as we head toward March, still at the 26th, we're at 68, 69. Slight chances of rain each day as we look at that forecast. That's the extended. As always, anything subject to change that far out. As we get into our fishing forecast this morning, here we are, calm. 7:38 is the perfect time to fish after dark. During today's time, it'll kick off at 7 o'clock this morning till about 9. You've got another chance this afternoon from 12:30 to 1:30 to fish. Should be pretty good there. Sunrise happens at 6:39, and sunset should roll in about 5:38 is what we've got. Not bad at all. Now let's go over and take a look at live radar of what we've got this morning, of what's approaching us out to our west. And as I mentioned on live radar, we pull this up to look at those storms. This is Saturday night as we look at this. This will stretch from San Antonio, taking in Galveston, Lafayette, right up to Baton Rouge and into Mississippi, taking in Vicksburg, Natchez, these areas here, and then going back into Bastrop and up into Texarkana area. But that's the outlook for Saturday night as we look at the extended forecast there for severe weather. This morning, all looks good. Nothing going on in the state of Mississippi. We do have a little bit of fog in between Beaumont and Lufkin, Texas. And we got, of course, down here around Beaumont to Lafayette, we do have a dense fog advisory, and also over here at Apalachicola, Florida. And look at all this around Kissimmee and Orlando this morning. A lot of fog, even down to Fort Lauderdale. Y'all be careful there. We got over in Macon, Georgia, special weather statement. They're a little windy in those areas there. And up by Jonesboro, Arkansas, a little bit of fog as well. Iowa getting some rain showers. Pittsburgh, you've got a flur or two coming down at this point as we look at that forecast. Wow. Be careful up north as you travel on those highways and byways. Already sitting at 6:55 this morning as we get our day together. We'll get it rolling here in just a moment. We had a major fire a while ago at a chicken house. We've had 2 chicken houses destroyed by fire this morning. We'll tell you all the details on that and check in to see how that is going of getting that fire under control. It's in the Collinsville area in northern Lauderdale County. And you've got to remember, as I say that, chicken houses, that's somebody's livelihood that just got taken. Y'all keep them in your thoughts. It's on Robinson Road in Lauderdale County. We'll tell you more about that in a few moments as we get our day underway. We'll be right back with the Scotty Ray Report. Join us live at 7.